Oops. Sorry about that. If anybody was watching, I just clocked the pillow that my camera's sitting on. Boy. I thought I would ink this Lobo picture if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to do it justice, but I thought I'd try it just to see. Enjoyed drawing this one. Did this at sketch lunch. This is just the same brush I was using last time. Just their default G pen. So I've been trying to think of some ideas that I'm going to do for the stream and what I want to talk about. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to focus a little bit on trying to illuminate, if I can, some of what Andrew Loomis teaches in his book Successful Drawing. I'm no teacher by any means. I'm not great at this stuff, but I paid attention to what the teachers that I took classes from, and my eye is pretty decent at catching. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. I wish I knew how to turn that off. But Loomis is interesting because he uses this old type of language from the 50s, and sometimes it takes a little bit to wade through what he means when he said stuff. He likes talking about how elements within a piece can become subordinated to other pieces, and you're like, what? But when you start really laying down his process of building up a narrative, it starts to really come together and make a lot of sense. He has his 5 P's and his 5 C's that he works off of. This is just too big. And it seems like it's just the same 5 P's and C's you'll hear from everybody else. He just words it a little bit differently. Oh my gosh. It's like it's on something today. Today I already didn't start off very good. Had to go get 2 new tires put on the car because found a stupid screw sticking out the back tire on perfectly good tires. Had to throw away perfectly good tires. Oh man, was that harsh. Hey, Dukes. What's up? Hey, this is not as easy as it looks, is it? Whew. Oh my gosh, that drives me nuts. Just a few minutes. I did a stream 2 days ago as a test, just to see how what's it called, the audio would go, and making sure everything's actually working, whether or not I can stream from upstairs or not with the Wi-Fi. Of course, it kicked me off a couple times, so that wasn't cool. It's really weird talking without waiting for somebody to type a reply instead of just talking. I saw some of your stream earlier today before I had to take off. Actually, I was watching at the garage where they were getting tires put on at Walmart. But I loved your Danger Girl. She came out great. You gonna stream again tonight? That means yes. I don't know. Yeah, probably. I'm hooked. Maybe after trick-or-treaters. Yeah, No, I haven't got days yet. I'm trying to... I kind of getting the idea that I'm just going to just be on, you know what I mean? Not like really set days, but maybe it's going to be just like once or twice a day just to be on. And if you want to watch me do stuff, you can. I'm going to be doing like my book a lot, so I figure maybe I'll be able to help people see how to put a book together the way I do it, not the way a professional does it. And then if they have questions about their book, if they need help with some fundamentals and stuff like that, maybe they can oops, I hit the pillow again. Maybe they can shoot me JPEG or something like that, and I can critique it or help them, maybe help solve a problem, anatomy problem or perspective. Or I think one of the biggest ones that people fall in trouble with is tangents. Nothing that hurts the brain more than those dumb tangents. And I think there's a lot of guys out there who want to be creators but don't realize that, it's like, well, who cares about the art? Just read the story. The story will get you into it. Well, sometimes people don't want to take the time, or their brain just hurts and they just can't get past something. They don't know what it is. And sometimes I think it's just really horrible fundamentals in their artwork. And if we could just help, solve a few of them, not all of them, but, just stuff like fixing tangents, fixing some just ridiculously awful anatomy that, it happens, and, your brain just doesn't want to tell you that it's bad, but other people know it's bad. You going trick-or-treating tonight? The only thing I don't handing out candy. Yeah, this is gonna be the first year that we've handed out candy in I don't know how long. I feel kind of obligated now. Before I didn't care. I ain't giving my kid no candy, so I don't need to be giving them kids no candy. I do like this brush, and I like this ink brush that's in Clip Studio. It's really my first time trying it, this time and the last time. I've used it for what's it called, lettering my comic, but I never really used it for art, so this is first time doing that. You got some changes coming up. What kind of changes you talking about? Career changes or platform changes on your channel? You finally take that job, move overseas? Oh no, oh goodness. Maybe by the time it finally comes time to actually do trick-or-treating, it'll all be done out of the back of those trunk or treats, whatever they do down at the like at church buildings and some of the schools around here. Then I don't have to wander neighborhoods looking for candy anymore. Yeah, we'll probably find out what we're having. It's not a. It's no. We're too old for surprises now. We don't need surprises. We probably can't take surprises. I wasn't having to put tires on the car out of nowhere very well today either. So I don't need that type of stress. I don't need that. I just, just tell me. We can plan for it now. Man, it sure got nippy quick. Oh, it's cold. Where to go, what to do. Can't wait till I can upgrade this machine. Hey, thanks a lot. You still liking your 16-inch Mobile Pro, or are you thinking about switching to an iPad? I know you've had the discussion a lot about why Apple's so bad, but oh my gosh, I bet it doesn't do this problem. It is driving me nuts. Whew. It's gonna drive me nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna probably be on a while. I figured I would just go, it's no big deal. Hey, son of a biscuit. See if that works. Does that look right? Yeah, looks good enough. I keep it. It's weird to just sit in silence sometime and realize, oh wait, I'm supposed to be talking. So did you make up your mind? Are you going to CTN? Ooh, I got a rumbly in my tumbly. Powerful. Powerful hanger. Hairy knuckles on there. Dang it. Here's a good example of a tangent right there. And I want that sitting on the same spot. So I'm going to move that out to make sure. Oops, sorry. Man, I keep doing that. How did the tires go? Give me a second. Let me answer the wife real quick. Sorry, people. Ah. Whew. Let's see, am I still streaming? Oh, yeah, there we go. Still in camera view. Alright. Let's see, how to... Oh, I left my, the thing I was using to draw straight edges upstairs. Sorry, more texting from the wife. Ooh. Get some hairy knuckles going. What I really like about this brush is the use of the pressure sensitivity on it. Really, you can really get some nice thick lines out of it. Man, we were watching Goonies last night, and Sloth on there was played by an ex-football player named John Matuzak. Man, he would have made a great Lobo. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I wouldn't be surprised if Lobo wasn't actually designed after Matuzak. Let's get our line art back on. It's See what we got going here. Sorry for going silent. Ugh. Guess I'm gonna give him a jean jacket instead of a leather jacket. Really, that's like the patch on the back or something like that peeling off. Get some of those lines thicker here and there so I can make sure we know that those are coming out this way. You want that bolder lines out here. Not all of them, just few. Trick that brain. Ooh, not used to sitting like this. I know what would happen if I Made that one little change. Yeah, kind of like that actually. Maybe that'll work. What do you think? Think that'll work? We have to try to figure out how to maybe add some ride patches. I know I'm starting to break a little bit of Loomis's rules with the fact that focusing a little bit on detail first, but I should have already had that stuff figured out in the drawing. See, look at that. See, I almost put that right here. I almost put that coming straight down like this. Let's see, and then your brain, what's going on there? Tangents, I'm telling you, they just. And I probably have some on here. I just haven't seen them yet. Your brain is not nice. Your brain will let something go and go and go, and then you'll come back to a piece and look at it and be, you gotta be kidding, I did that? And I want to make sure that his hands look proportionally sized, even though this one's been the back distance. You don't want this one so large that it makes this one look too small, but also you don't want to make this one larger than this one. And it's funny because you'll see stuff like that. Once you start noticing it, you'll start seeing it pop up all over the place. And the worst part is it pops up on guys' artwork that's like, wow, you know better. You guys are like the cream of the crop professionals, and it's like Neil deGrasse Tyson when he's he can't watch any science movie now because he has to pick apart some of the science. Although he's pretty good at just letting it ride. He can at least take himself out of the picture and be like, let's just enjoy it for what it is. Good popcorn flick. But poor guy makes a comment about something and everybody goes crazy on him. Just because he made one little thing. Says, that's not how to work. Doesn't mean he hated the movie, just comment about maybe it wouldn't go that way. That's what will happen to you once you start noticing some of this stuff. You'll start noticing it in guys' artwork and be like, oh man, see, I did it right there. See, look at that. I put that, so now you'll get the idea that that's part of the finger. See how that works? That's how I did it again here, right? Gosh. I'm telling you, if you're not actively watching for it, your brain will do that to you religiously over and over and over again. Your brain is not your friend. Friends don't let friends draw tangents. The other thing I really like about this brush is that it allows you to do some of this when you're filling in, and you just kind of don't always want to fill in all the way. You want to leave a little bit of white in there, or a little bit of a just background color. And it's okay with that. It just goes ahead and says, sure, go ahead. How's that? Is that looking alright? It's not bad. If you ask my wife for me to say, hey, that's not bad, that's a big leap. I'm my own worst critic. I always jumping on myself. I'm sure we all are. That's human nature. Especially for us artists, we just love to beat ourselves up for no reason. That's why we get on Mel's streams, so we can be elevated back into feeling good about ourselves. We need Mel. We need more Mel. Need more cowbell. Need more Mel. We just need more Mel. All you have to do is go to sketch lunch with Mel and Guy, and they'll have you feeling pretty good about yourself by the time you get done. If it wasn't for those two, I don't know if I'd be streaming. They're very good at giving me confidence. And for future streams and people who go back and watch this later and then follow me in the future, you know, if you see a tangent, call that thing out. You know, just scream out tangents. Don't you hate like watching somebody else's stream, like say like that happens and then somebody's over here working and you're like, oh, do they see that spot over there? Will they go clean up that spot? And then you just sit there and all you can do is watch that spot and you're like, ah. Or the worst part is, you know, it's like, well, that's not the order I would ink it, or that's not the order I would paint it. And you're like, well, you just paint that. And it's amazing how they leave a spot open. And you're like, well, you get that spot. It drives you nuts waiting for them to acquiesce to you writhing at home. Acquiesce to your request. Just how hairy to make them, you know? Easy don't like to leave the heavy blacking in inks till the end. I do like to leave that in, I guess what I mean to say. I'm sure if I was a smart artist, I would fill in all those heavy darks first, and then I would know how much time to spend on the stuff that actually needs done, instead of spending way too much time on areas that don't. Kind of lost that edge a little bit back there. Not that I might not need it later, but I kind of want to keep it now just in case. Really pronounce those edges, see if that helps. I doubt it, but you know, do what I got to do. Oh, I don't know if this will. Thought I'd put a scar on there or something, but that wasn't looking so good. I don't know if that'll work, but wow. Touch is just a little too sensitive. Usually I don't use the touch on this, but since I'm using Clip Studio, and I can use the rotate like this really quick, I'm trying to put up with it. hoping this is translating to look a little bit like his beard, mustache, you know, like hopefully you'll be able to see that up here a little bit in his, that up here in his face. I'm pointing at the screen and you can't see that I'm pointing. Yeah, it's going to take me a little while to get used to understanding that what you can actually see compared to what I'm actually doing. You know, some people are probably going to ask, you know, which do I prefer, digital over traditional? I'd probably say digital for one specific thing, and that's cleanliness, man. But if you're one of those guys that can do it physically, traditionally, you don't mind getting all dirty and having those rare spills every now and then, get that stuff all over the place, and by all means carry on. I'm a klutzy person by nature, and because of that, I'm that guy who, you're doing great, you think you're doing good, and then you lift up your hand and realize that you'd set it down in a wet ink, and now you've got fingerprints or handprints all over the area that you were working on. You'd be like, well, couldn't you pay attention better? Probably. One thing I think about ink, though, is that its very nature, how you put it down, even I'm putting it down digitally, how I would put it down traditionally. Quick, expressive strokes. You know, if you're going to be doing it traditionally, the technique doesn't change. You still want those, you still want those strokes to be quick, expressive. Anytime you're sitting there and you're trying to follow that line and you're doing it really slow and you're getting that jagged line, it looks horrible unless you plan on getting that jagged line that way. Holy crap, did that just flip the screen on me? How the hell did it do that? Oh man. Does it look better going this way? Nah, I like it going back the other way. Now I just gotta figure out how to transform, flip horizontal. Ah! I want to flip everything horizontal. Undo. I don't want to selection. There's no selection. Rotate inverse canvas. Oh. Flip horizontal. Well, how do I apply transform? No. Okay. Now I probably go back to flip horizontal. If that really, I mean, holy goodness. I don't know how that flipped. Must have been a gesture I did or something. Great. I did that cool eye on the other side. Now I gotta try to figure out how to do it over here too, huh? Sorry, I'm not very talkative today. I don't know how these guys just talk and talk and talk. I'm liking this knee guard. It's coming out pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish I could paint better, you know. I wish I could paint better. And I was quicker at it. Get that up above. So we don't have any tangent problems with the back of this thing. See, like right there, I had this horn. Originally had it coming all the way up there, but that's the best thing. A digital back button. And I applaud every one of you guys that can do that traditionally and not worry about those going backs like that. You guys are amazing. Sean Gordon Murphy's out there. That guy's just, he is on a whole nother level when it comes to inking. I mean, that guy is just something else. I was just thinking about having one of these spikes to have spikes. Then what's it got left in somebody's ass somewhere? Sorry, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have cussed it, but I couldn't help myself. That's the trademark Phillips tongue sticking out. That's a concentrate. That's not what I wanted to do. I don't know how to make that look right. You know how on a skull for a you know, on you see at the schools, whatever, they always have those little holes right there. I don't know how these YouTubers, these guys, Twitch guys, I don't know how you guys do it. Paying attention to your chats all the time, talking to everybody. It's got a heart of gold. Look at that. Haha. Except I'll do that later. That'll come across better at the end when you just start trying to add a bunch of stuff in to tie it all together. Then you can start adding that stuff in. That's one of Loomis's what's it? Oh, he has these 5 P's and these 5 C's that he does. And on his 5 C's, his last one is consistency. He talks about, you know, if you're gonna render something like that, then you need to make sure you do it to the bike. You need to make sure you do it to his face, to the scar. You know, so far I've got pretty good amount of definition already. That if I really start going really crazy in this guy's down here with this, what's it called, shin guard or knee guard. Well, you don't want to have that so overly rendered that it stands out specific. It draws the eye. Your eye's going to go to the area usually with the most amount of detail. So he wants you to do that consistency stuff like that. Whatever you choose to do that at the end. You know, for him, it's all about you conceptualize what you're going to do first. And then your construction of it, make sure your proportions and everything, your construction of it's proper. Then you start making sure that your contours are all right, that you start getting good line width and stuff like that. Once you got that all set, now you start peppering in all that character into it. You know, once I had the structure, the leg put in here, and had the anatomy right, had all that stuff, that's when, holy shnikes, I tell you, that's when you go in and you start doing the character of that knee pad. Not, you don't start with that, well, you can, but you know what I mean. You want to put that in later. You want to have that there later, and then, I mean, that's half the reason I put this little patch back here, was because I knew I did this, so maybe his jacket should have a little bit more of a story to it. So that's why I added a patch there, and I'll probably add some more patches here and there. That's the consistency part and a character, you know. I mean, I may have started with his face, but when I did the drawing initially, you know, I did a gesture. I laid this all in. showed where how I was gonna set this all up, and then I went and started having some fun with that face. Come on, that's what Lobo's all about, right? What's that? Beasley, what's his name? I can't remember his first name, but he's the one who turned me on to enjoying Lobo back in the day. His name was Beasley, and he did these crazy covers and scenes where he had Lobo like standing waist high and nothing but bullet casings. Ah. He did this great opening to one of his books where there's some guy standing in front of an ATM machine, and he's like trying to figure out what he needs to push next so he can find out what his balance is, and Lobo's in a hurry. He needs to get somewhere, and the guy's just taking forever. You know, we've all been there, right? So Lobo's all, well, here, let me help you figure out your balance. And he's all, see, 1. And when he says 1, he rips one of the guy's arms off. He says, +1, ripping off another arm, is 2. That's how much money you got in your bank account. 2. He's not a very nice guy. Let's get rid of that. Dang it. I wonder if that's all gesture based. So I wonder if I could go in and turn off gestures, and then it wouldn't do that no more. See, now you don't want your lines to get so heavy in here that they take away from this face up here. But I do want to have a good amount of detail to show that it's mechanical, that it's, you know, that he's, you know, this is a machine. Your line weights will come to you as you go along and start realizing what you need to do to keep the eye going, tell the story. And you just don't want this fighting that. So Loomis uses an interesting way, if I can talk, he uses an interesting way to describe this phenomenon. Let me just check something here real quick. I just want to make sure I'm still streaming. But he's talking about the fact that these lines here need to be subordinate to these lines here. maybe I should have done that. So these lines and these lines. So I want the focus. I want you to really, when you see this, pop on that face. See, now I might need to go down and take away some of the stuff here so that you really focus on that face. But I don't want these lines to compete with his face, so I make sure that these are thin, light, yet still have great definition to them. And then I leave a little bit of the jaggedness here, so it gives you that, it's like I'm hinting at it. I don't need to render it completely out, because I really want you to focus on that face. And maybe I'll have to do something to pull back his shin guard here, so that you do look at his face, but because I want the shin guard to be subordinate to the face, and then this to be subordinate to the shin guard. And his use of subordinate is like really kind of outdated, but it works. I think it works better than what we want to think. We want to say this comes first or this, that, but when you really use language like that, it's subordinate to it. It needs to respect that hierarchy that you're laying down. And when you start to think like that, when you're planning out this stuff and you're working through like his 5 P's and his 5 C's, if you think that way while you're doing your conception at the beginning, when you're doing your construction and then your contours and your character and then your consistency in it, man, it makes a difference. It really helps. I mean, it helps more than you want it to, you know what I mean? Because you just want to have fun, draw, don't worry about that stuff. Sorry. But the truth of the matter is, and it's the same thing, all those professionals, you always ask them, hey, what brush you use? Default. You're like, what? Hey, how come you do this? How can you do that? And as they start to explain stuff, it all goes back to fundamentals. And it's just the fundamentals of that. And sometimes they might not understand how to say it, but that's what they're really talking about. They're talking about making sure that your conception is subordinate to your construction, which is subordinate to the well, actually it's the other way. Consistency is subordinate to the character, to the contour, to the construction, and to the conception. Because if you lay down that conception strong at the beginning, understanding what needs to be subordinate with others, then as you start to lay in your construction work of it, as you're starting to build stuff and you start, understanding how anatomy works, if you rotate the arm, all the muscles rotate. It seems so simple, it seems like duh, but it's amazing how we don't want to do it. It's too much trouble. It's too, we're asking ourselves, no, I don't want to do it, it takes too much time. But I have seen a lot of indie books, and a lot of guys in the book will say things like, well, that's just my style. When what they're really saying is, I don't want to be bothered to do that. They just don't want to be bothered to do the fundamentals. And it's those little fundamentals that people will look at your work and they'll start seeing it in a whole different light. Of course, I could be all talking horse crap, which most likely I am. I mean, who doesn't need a giant fanged belt buckle? My goodness. See, here's a great place for a tangent to happen. You put that right down in that corner there, and you can't tell that this is not a part of this. And I want to make that line just a little thick here to give this some dimension of forwardness here. I can go back here and I can really make that line disappear into there. I really wanted to see if I could make this into like a diamond plated, or you know, like a diamond plating that you find like in construction stuff. Oh, bastard. I'm starting to get tired. I'm cussing. Ay. Damn it. Oh, where is it? It's on here. No, let me just... Sorry about this. Let's see here. How do I... Share experience, projecting, multitasking, tablet mode. File play, blah blah blah. I always thought I had what's it called, gestures turned off on this thing. Oh, it's not there. No. Microphone, lock screen, nope. Alright, well, if I can't find it here in a second, then I'll just live with it. Startup, video playback, apps. That's on the apps and features. Oy. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing. Ah. I was just trying to figure out maybe if there should be a way to turn off gestures, I think. I was wondering if gestures was my problem, is the reason why I keep having like that pop up, you know, because I think that's a gesture of a really quick, you know, you move towards the screen. So I thought if I looked in the settings, but and I know, I'm pretty sure I have it turned off, I thought, but maybe I don't. I don't think that's working. It didn't look diamond plated to me. I don't want to make that too, what's it called, too detailed. Yeah, that's not working either. I think I'll just I saw yours does every now and then would leave a spot uh, on your canvas, but I didn't see it having these type of issues where it keeps on open to gestures like that. I think that's what it is. I think it's all gesture stuff, so I'm gonna have to dive into it later. See if I can figure out how to turn out those gestures. So I wish I could paint better and at such a speed that. See, now Mel just wants to elevate because I said that. But I think running some colors over this to make that look like diamondy, sparkly. It'll look pretty cool. Mel's just sitting there going, "Ah, let me in the game! Let me in!" I think that'll just open up that and not actually. Too bad there wasn't a way to just disable that, huh? Radio menu. Display at cursor. Let's see if that did anything. You back streaming again? Nope, that did not fix it. Oh, what it didn't do is it didn't go off where this hits. That's what I turned off. Ah. But you're drawing, huh? Be like, I gotta be more like Mel. Just need to be just drawing all the time, painting. When I was going to school at UVU, I was pretty good at staying busy. I would just go to school and then just hang out all day. So I'd find an area where, like, there's a couple rooms there where people congregate and just hang out all day. And I remember Adam and Noah would come in. He'd be like, "Man, every time I come in, Phillips is always just drawn." And I'd be like, okay. But I understand that now. He was wrecking me for my later life, because now I feel guilty and bad when Phillips isn't drawing all the time. Hopefully that's coming across right. I don't know. Maybe I'd actually. I'll put the zip tie. Let's try this again. Is there a place Okay. Let's see if that helped. Emailing people. You're working? You crazy? Stop the press. Mel's working. Yeah, what's funny though is that's the real work that we all should be doing. It's like uh what's it we get so caught up in thinking that the drawing is the work sometimes, when unfortunately it boils down to a lot of times it's the actual emailing and the social media stuff and that type of stuff. That's some of the biggest work that we got to do. And nobody likes to do that work. I was watching one of the guys from that One Fantastic Week podcast, and he was talking about the fact that he hates doing emails. He lets them sit there, piling up. And he's like, you think you don't want to do anything, you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. He's like, I let this one sit there for he doesn't how many months, 3 months or something like that, without replying to it. He's like, unfortunately, that was one that I should have replied to, and now I'm having to play catch up. We need one of us to oh, well, thank you. I I'm not so good at figuring out all that stuff yet. We need one of us to hit it huge, hit it big. And then we could all just hang out down at a studio and do hangouts like that and stream and do like sketch lunch every day. But, like, hopefully that looks like a like a weld. Oh, well, I am honored. Mel's the best. When I'm watching you stream, I'll put it on the TV, so I'm watching it through my PlayStation. You want to have fun? Just try to participate in chat using your PS4 controller. Sitting there, click, 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 A, click, 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 and click, 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 D, click, 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 space. It makes for a chat and a little challenging. Oh, you know who I was for your list of characters that you're working on? I was thinking, do you know that video game? I think it's called Is it Dragon Age or Dragon Lance? Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair. Princess Penelope, I think it is. I think that's who her name is. The Don Bluth game from back in the 80s. I loved that game, man. I used to play that so much down at the arcade. It was so difficult. It was the most hardest game I've ever played. That might even be a fun one to see both of the characters in the same, like a double. Her and, I think it was Dirk, wasn't it? I think his name was Dirk. How you feeling about that list? Is it still okay, or is it getting too big? Your list, is your list still okay, or is it starting to get too big for you? I mean, is it still manageable? Mel says, "Oh yeah." Oh, your drawing list. Nah, that's pretty manageable. I just do like 10 a day. Stream them. I just knock it out. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't draw motorcycles. Just winging it. Ah, this looks mechanical. Ah, that looks okay. Fake it till you make it, right? Ugh. So how's it coming? Did I you think I overshot with this knee pad down here? Is his face too intricate? Is it taken away from Lobo's face? As I add more to it. Ugh, we're our own worst enemy, I tell you. Come on. Play the game. There we go. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think I'm gonna... No. Let's get rid of that one too. I sometimes go just a little bit crazy when it comes to inking for some reason. I can spend me some time inking. I probably shouldn't spend so much time inking, but it can be quite fun when it comes out right? Whew. I don't know if I'm going to get all this done tonight. So Mel, earlier I was talking about tangents, the idea of running this line right into that corner, or even worse, like run a line right to that tip here. When you're drawing, are you consciously thinking of those? And if so, do you have any tips or tricks that help you to see it so it's not a problem, or is it just me? I mean, I can't imagine you having tangent problems. A greasy old belly hanging over that thing. A little bit. That's that little bit of joy you catch every now and then when you're making art. That's what makes you make art, right? Because if you didn't have those little bundles of joy, those happy little things, every now and again, all the failures sure would run you out of the business. Yeah, I agree with that. That is it can get tough to keep an eye on them. But one thing that's interesting about that, you say with detailed work, it's hard to see them as easily. And that doesn't mean that you always have to do everything so simple. Because even sometimes doing things overly simple, it still leads to the same problem. But is there like some I'd imagine, even like I was watching you draw earlier today, and when you were, you know, putting out your your gesture of the character you were doing, I could still see that you were making sure that stuff was mapping. You were, it wasn't just you just start. And part of my problem is, I've said it before, I taught myself how to draw from comic books. And when I say that, people are like, well, what's wrong with that? And the problem with it is I learned because I started to try to draw exactly how it was inked. So when I drew it, what I meant is, this is how I would do it. I would like start at an eye so that I got that placed right. And then, you did the classic ink nose and the ink dot. It was like, there's no gestural drawing to it. I literally drew it as if it was inked, and I didn't draw any exploratory lines, and if I did, I erased them. And I was so heavy-handed back in the day. So the idea for me of going and drawing all of this, it would have been like this, you know what I mean? And so then I would try to erase it, and it wouldn't erase very well, and so it's taken me some time to be soft. And then when you're starting to build that construction, making sure you're... Oh, I guess what I was saying though is, with this is, you're drawing it and then you don't realize that you've created a tangent on something. Well, it's you can't go back and fix that. Not only do you don't want to fix it, I mean, you don't want to fix it because that would mean starting all over again. It's one of those frustrating things I always seem to deal with. What made me try this brush, I was watching you ink the other night, and you were doing those eyes, and you just pressed down really hard, and you did half the work just letting the brush express a line afterwards of thick and thin. And it's like, I've got to try that. And this brush is pretty cool. And I like how it, it could drive some people nuts by leaving all these like little, and you go too thin, too hard. And I like it because it leaves these little streaks in there. Makes you look like you know what you're doing. It's the problem with Twitch, huh? Giving all of our secrets away. Ah, look at that little bastard. Alright. What next? What next? What next? Give everybody a headache trying to keep up with. That's why I'm flipping the canvas. Oops, that was nasty. The other thing I like about this brush is the fact that it has such a variance to it. I mean, I'm almost amazed at how thin you can actually. It really does remind me of using one of those nice pen brushes. Because usually when I ink, I used to ink, when I did it traditionally, I inked with brain farts, I guess. Come on, it's gonna come to you. A quill pen. Wow, that was rough. So I did the dipping in the ink in, and using a quill pen to do my inking, and although you can still get those lines, sometimes you just want to be able to turn that brush on its side and get a nice swath of something. And ugh, that's not right. What was I thinking? You know, you draw something and you're like, oh, that's a great idea. I should draw with the chains all like that, and I'll put it out there and everybody can see it, and oh man, it's so cool. And then you realize later, ugh. At least I'm not coloring it at this stage. No, I like that better. I don't know how you keep up the talking all the time. You're a magic man. Thank you. I appreciate the host and the stopping by. It's true. You are a talker. But I can talk. I mean, I can talk. It's just guess I'm not good at keeping it going. But I'll keep on trying, and hopefully I get better at it. Man. I gotta be careful down here that I don't get too crazy with this, because then I'll have to keep that consistency up in other places, and if it's too much, then it'll make finishing the rest of it impossible. Maybe not impossible, but a lot trifler than, oh, excuse me, than I want it to be, that's for sure. I mean, half the reason it seems to me that art can be such a pain in the butt to make, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but you're watching your favorite artist, you're watching some teacher, you're watching these guys, and man, they can pound out some high level stuff quick. And you know, it's like they've got it drawn and painted way before you're even done scribbling a gesture. And I know that just means we got to get better, we got to train more. You know, it's just a little discouraging sometimes when you're out there trying to, as you would say in other things, pound the pavement. You know, you're trying hardest to get stuff done, and I think that's what a lot of us fight, is that you know, you see others do it so easy and you're like, then you go to try it and it does not work anywhere near how it worked for them, and now you're discouraged. So what's great about Mel and his dukes, you know, he's talking about just get that duke out, just get it, just let it go, you'll feel better afterwards, you know it. We've all had that duke that once it left your body, you just felt better. That means it's not a duke though. I'm trying to get better, and hopefully these streams will keep me more accountable, keep me you guys can hold me more accountable to putting out more artwork. Maybe that, you know, and hopefully that'll help with I don't want to force myself, but technically forcing myself to get better, to improve, to get hopefully to where I can be at that level where I can start making artwork at a pace that is just sometimes seems ridiculous. And all of that, I think, streams from, first, you know, we take it for granted. We don't want to do it. It's like what I was talking about earlier. Is that, oh man, has it come from just understanding the fundamentals of this deranged business that you want to find yourself in. I mean, you really got to really want to hurt yourself to, I think, sometimes to do this business. And I was listening to a guy talk. Oh, that is odd. Why is it backwards in the thumbnail over here, but right direction over here? Wow, I've got to get used to this thingamabobber. What's this? Clip Studio. But I was listening to a guy, and he made a comment somewhat about that. He's like, you have to be willing to do this stuff for free. I know that's a crazy concept, and most people are always, yelling about not getting paid and people trying to take advantage, and they are, and that's not what he's talking about. He's not talking about doing stuff for free. What he's saying is, he's like, just make stuff, make as much stuff as you possibly can. He's like, you have to be willing to make it for free in the first place, because it's so hard to make it in a creative business as it is, that learn to have that love for it, because it's just, oh man, yeah. Oh, I wrote it down. Where is it? It pretty much was the idea that I am not set up. Stupid stuff. Okay, sure. I wrote it on here. Yeah, it wasn't this one. Here it is. He says, if you're not willing to make it for free, you'll never make it. You'll never make money. It's too competitive. I don't know if it's 100% right, but I understand where he's coming from. Go for it. Have some fun. Hop on some dukes and I'd hop over there with you if I wasn't using I haven't got my setup yet. I need to figure out how to put the chat over here. And then I don't know if I would I need to create a second account in order to stream it on the TV and do it here? I don't know. But back to that making stuff for free. I mean, I'm not saying just make it for free, but I understand what he's talking about. He's talking about the idea that you really got to have a love and desire to do this business. I think that goes for any type of creatives. I know most people just want to get paid. And trust me, I want to get paid. But I also understand this his way of thinking, that if I'm willing to do it anyways, then it must mean more to me than just putting in a paycheck, putting in a time card. And I've been trying to elevate my desire for it. I've been trying to get excited about it. I'm telling you that those little things, like I was talking about earlier, how it comes out, this came out so cool, this kneecap thing, and it's like, oh man, you know, you take those victories, man. Take time to see it, recognize it, and call it out for what it is. It's a legit victory in my mind. I mean, usually what I draw, it never comes out anything looking that nice. That's why I spend so much time watching Mel, watching other artists. I watch way too much YouTube of just watching artists draw or paint. Shoot, I'll just listen to them talk about drawing and painting. But I'm trying to break out of my shell a little bit, which most people say, you have a shell? Yeah, I've got a shell. Doesn't seem like it, but I do. As I sit here talking to myself. Oi. What? It's so dumb. That'll have be able to get this done with this much detail before I have to go pick up the wife. Oh, my neck is gonna be killing me later. You know, one of the nice things about the digital is I was just sitting here thinking, it's like, I understand the idea that you know, it probably wouldn't have come out looking like this because I probably wouldn't have taken a couple of these risks that I did. Like the risk for that knee guard. It wouldn't have come out anywhere near as I think cool as it did. I mean, it still might have been okay, but I definitely don't think it would have. You know, reached the level of just straight up coolness that it did. No, not like that last bit. I liked the beginning though. I didn't like that. Oh, excuse me. It's like the neighbors are cooking something garlicky. See, I wonder if that would work. Let's see, I need TV remote. Whew. Haha. Now we'll just see if I can. Stream both places.
Drug. Nap time drugs.
Hopefully you can't hear Mel talking there in the background. Ugh. Alright, that looks good. I gotta leave it like that. Ah. Let's turn off. Oh, actually like that. Man, I'm having more fun doing this stuff than I did the face, and that's where I thought I was gonna have all the fun. Nope. Definitely gotta get rid of that though. Yeah. Oh wow. That looks pretty good. I'm kind of surprised.
I will follow you. Like, I'm sure you're probably way better artist. I'm not following you. Can you share? Can you share your? Share. Can you throw it up there, please?
Man, this brush is perfect for this.
I can follow you. So I can say, my bestie one, who I met at 6 p.m. And you'll be like, oh man, that guy's embarrassing. There it is. Still new to this art. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Embrace it. Because here's the thing. The new artist, is the most magical artist. Oh, it says it's not available. It says the new link may be broken. Let me try that again. It says your page is not available. No, again, yeah, being that new artist is Nora Lacon. Okay. I'm going to look. Nora dot Lacon. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm just making you work. And boom, I'm following you back. Yay! Look at all the fun words. These are no different. These are wonderful. Now I'm going to like so that I can have you show up in my feed. How are you liking Procreate? No.
I got the TV remote in my hand, and I have been using the Microsoft the Wacom puck, and I thought it was the puck, and I, I I almost went to hit a button on it to go backwards. I'm such a moron. Ah, bastard.
Alright, sorry about that. And that's the whole trick. That's why I'm saying that part of the stage of being an artist, where you embrace, I want to work, I want to do more. That's kind of where I'm at with streaming. I'm pretty excited, streaming. It's been quite fun. People have been very friendly. And I've been going out too, because nobody's really been playing that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So that, they can have fun. So,
starting to get a little tired.
run with it.
It's not good.
Help out with that.
Start wanting to take shortcuts and
Yeah, I was Procreate is probably the funnest program where, when I got my first iPad, Procreate was where I was at. Like I said, I'm probably more insecure now about my art than I was when I first started.
I
Even more nerve-wracking now for me than when I started. So, finding ways to continue to get excited about future characters and characters. Sketchbook Pro is pretty cool. It's my brother. Miles. I think he's endorsed me. Miles is responsible for having
Oh,
Slowly but surely.
I am starting to get real tired.
Going nice. Push one. Nope. You guys are picture with Ken. What's gonna happen? Handing out candy. Right that way.
Nope, I don't like that one. See? Lazy did.
And these are for you guys. Because Ken, see, I left the table, and there I go.
A candy. Huh?
That's fun. So I go as far as all right. As long as I can be helpful, that's all I want to be. You know, right? Just a couple though. It won't hurt. But that's what I'm saying. Can't be a Halloween stream without the candy. You have to have the candy for it to be a Halloween stream. So we'll put that to make it. See how it feels? Like it feels Halloween, right? As you disappear off the screen. But right now it's making tying everything together. Right? Don't breathe deep in, because that's what I did.
Oh,
Now it feels the whole experience. You know,
oh man, my butt's getting sore.
Halloween experience. I probably should dim the lights and everything.
How's it look?
Whole experience. You know, but there's parts of me that was like, should you stream on a Halloween? Why not?
I do kind of like it a little bit. Come on. That, like that, huh? Kind of cool.
And then hurry for my daughter to, Halloween
Hmm.
party.
Try to do this
Halloween
rack.
parade. Let me get my, hold on, see? Sarah with great ideas. Here we go. Alright, hopefully that's not too in there. Now it's all Halloween.
Nope. Dang it.
Right? Now.
Probably should.
We're getting festive here. We're getting mega festive here.
Uh,
This is about the most I've ever decorated with my candy, with my pumpkin. So happy Halloween, you guys. We're bringing the holiday spirit, right? Thank you, Sarah, for that. Sarah, my hero.
oh gosh, you guys probably can't even see me. Huh? Oh man.
Again, grabbing the candy.
Oh gosh, that's ridiculous. I didn't even realize that. I'm so sorry.
Happy Halloween. Every one of you. A happy Halloween.
Come in half an hour.
From a holy individual.
Oops.
Trying to,
Let me go to. It was 15 minutes ago.
what? What
Come in
happened?
half an hour.
What happened? Something unplugged?
Okay. That was 15 minutes ago. And I was supposed to pick her up.
Still good? Did something unplug?
Okay, well,
We got
let's
technical
go
problems.
back.
Still working.
Ah, what am I doing? I want this one. Come on.
Still working.
Just. Be nice. I wanted to do this really quick.
Everything's good? Wait till your husband get home so you take the kids to park stuff, right?
I wanted to see how this looked. Ah, you bastard. I'm so sorry about the light. I'm used to sitting here and just drawing in the dark because I can draw on this tablet just fine in the dark, and I don't have to worry about,
When you get those little kids that want to just come into your house.
you know,
Like there's a party going on in here.
I don't need a light on.
That's what the commercial. Well, sorry about the difficulty.
There you go. Oh yeah, it's not supposed to be a.
Hey, I just watched the damn commercial. So I appreciate you being patient with commercials and making it
Supposed
all
to be like a wolf.
for the holiday spirit. You know what? Again, I'm sitting here dreaming. And my wife is like, "You're not gonna go trick or treating with us?"
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
Nope.
Really enjoyed making it.
Again,
I might come back and finish it
without
and do a part 2 video.
flaring up.
But I'll definitely post this up on Instagram. Hope you enjoyed it. If you wanted me to zoom in there and wow, that was a lot of fun. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Mel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate that and the hosting. I'm going to load this up on YouTube. It'll go on my Jam Spoon, same thing, same way, JAMSPOOOON. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys.